continue with news around the State of the Nation address, which happens on the back of efforts to create a capable state and plans for the economy to recover and create jobs. Let's speak to Cosatu's General Secretary now, Bheki Ntshalintshali, and hear what the Trade Union Federation is expecting to hear from the President's address. Thank you very much, Mr. Ntshalintshali, for your time here on All Angles. Now, first of all, there seems to be no agreement between the President and National Treasury, especially when it comes to the basic income grant, right? It seems the President wants it to happen, but National Treasury is saying that there's not enough funds when it comes to that. Where does Cosatu stand, and are you hoping the President clarifies it a bit more tomorrow night?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the opportunity. We think the President will be honest, first and foremost, to inform the nations about the state of our economy and the steps that has been taken in the implementation of the ERRP, the mobilization of the resources, and what can be affordable at this point in time. I think the issues of the basic income grant, as well as the question of the extension of the social distress relief fund, we think on the social relief fund, there has to be an extension because people are too poor and they cannot afford not to be assisted in one way or another. In relation to the basic income grant, I think the world all over has long agreed that this is affordable. Even poor countries can be able to afford it. The debate should be at what level. Do you put it at the minimum wage, for an example, or you put it less? And I think the resources must be found to deal with those issues. Whether the Treasury disagree or not, eventually the President has to take a decision. Money has to be found somewhere. If the President is frank, if the President is decisive, that money must be found, and the mobilization of those resources should be what Treasury needed to find, but the direction should be quite clear. Please find money somewhere so that we can be able to introduce the basic income grant. When? It may not be this year, but the foundation must be set it up.
And of course, we know that 350 Rand grant that people are relying on comes to an end in March. So Cosatu would like that to be extended. But when we talk about the economy and job creation, South Africa has not been faring very well, Mr. Ntshalintshali. And now there's this question also around the employment of foreign nationals after what's been happening with political parties and employers in the last few weeks.
Look, the question of the foreign national is just one element in relation to our problems. We got 10 million unemployed people. The foreigners may come to maybe 2 million or 3 million, I don't know the figures. Whether you chuck them away, all of them, the issues of unemployment is not going to be resolved. So it's a point that needed to be addressed, tackled quite carefully in our history, that we know that there were contributions made by foreign nationals when you're looking, for an example, to the mining industry, when South Africans were not going to the mines. So they have a role to play, but the issue is about what degree should we employ the foreign nationals. I think there's no country in the world that can just say, shut them out. They will not be allowed in your countries. We are living in a global world. They got a contribution to make, but they have to be documented one way or another. So the issue is not about that one. The issue is that if our economy was growing enough, if our economy was creating jobs, we'll not be raising the issues of the foreign nationals. So we should not be only focused. They are important issues, of course, but that is not our major issue. Our major issue is that our economy is not growing and our economy is not creating jobs.
And part of what's been blamed for this, Mr. Ntshalintshali, is, of course, the corruption allegations that have been leveled against many of our leaders. The SONA Commission of Inquiry report, Part 1 and 2, making its way to the presidency, being handed over to the president. Are you hoping he touches on, some of the things that were revealed in the report? We expected as South Africans, right, because we've been following these cases quite thoroughly. But are you hoping the president probably outlines what action is going to be taken against these state-owned enterprises and individuals who rob the state?
Definitely. I think he can't escape that one. He may not be able to quantify. What we're looking for is the resourcing of the agencies that must carry these issues out now. The recommendation must be implemented fully. People must, the NPA and the court must be enhanced so that they can be able to carry their responsibility. And it must be done quite urgently so that it can give confidence to our people that those who are stealing from the coffers of the state, irrespective who they are, what position they occupy in the society, all people must be equal before the law, money must be recovered, and some of the dodgy deals must be reversed, and people must go to jail so that it sends a clear message that crime does not pay. So we're expecting the president to talk very strongly about that one, but speaking by the president must then be supported by Treasury in the budget speech, how much money is being put to cater for the intention or raise in the State of the Nation address.
Just very quickly, while I have you, talking about state capture and state-owned enterprises, Eskom still going through quite a lot in terms of, giving us power in South Africa. Are you hoping the president probably elaborates more on the plan to, make sure that people are able to access power without necessarily going the Eskom route?
We think Eskom has a role to play in a different way. It's not only the coal-fired power station, but Eskom can also play a bigger role in relation to the renewable energy. I think plans are already there that what needed to be done. Eskom says what they lack is a question of resources, because most of their income are servicing the debt that they have incurred. But they also some kind of a green light or opening of funding in relation to the climate change funding. We think Eskom should be able to dip in there, be able to be assisted to be able to deal with the aging power station. We hope, because this is a key to our economy. If we can't fix the Eskom, or if you can't fix the electricity supply, I think we're in a deep, deep end. The renewable energy is going to take some time. So Eskom has to be the focus and to do as much as we can so that Eskom at least can give that security.
All right. Thank you very much for your time here on All Angles. That was Cosatu's General Secretary, Bheki Ntshalintshali.